Today we're talking about the S250 high-performance drill stand, and this has a capacity up to 250 millimeters. And you can see here it has a lightweight aluminum column with a steel gear rack for the carriage, and welded tubular steel base. And you can see here it's got a roller type carriage. And the roller carriage is really excellent. There's no free play at all in this carriage, but yet it's still very anti-friction, so it's not taking up your energy trying to fight against it. And you can see it's got also some other options, like it's got a jack screw. It has this nice handle, which helps you handling the machine. And right here you see it's mounted with a clamp type. But it also has, it's actually built into it, it has a standard dovetail type mounting spacer, which you would use for a regular rig mounted type drill motor. And here I'll show you how it works. First off, you have your lock, your carriage lock, and it goes this way to release, and it locks. And the carriage lock just slides over like this. Sometimes it makes it easier if you move the handle a little bit to relieve the pressure. And then when you lock, you have to make it so it lines up. You have your multi-purpose handle. The handle can be used for tightening your clamp. It can also be used on both sides of the carriage. And it's also used for when you want to drill at an angle, so your angle stops. So here we'll just change its angle. And we'll just put it off at an angle 15 degrees, say. And just tighten it up. It's as easy as that. And now I'll show you a little bit about how to mount the motor into the drill stand. Press down a little bit, and then we'll put the drill motor in there. And make sure it's loose. We'll take one of our machines. I got our S6 here. And mount it in there. You mount it whatever angle you want. You put it on. It's nice to have it pointed this way so that you have access to your gear change if you need to change gears. And then you just tighten down the clamp with your handle. And it's mounted and ready to go. And of course, ordinary operation, you'd be using the dovetail to remove it. So you just take a 19mm wrench, loosen the nut, and the entire assembly comes right out very quickly. And so you would normally be mounting your stand with the drill motor removed, and then once it's ready to go, you just put the drill motor into the dovetail, and then tighten it down. And of course, final tighten with your 19mm wrench. And of course, the mounting spacer, which is mounted together with this clamp, can go right onto one of our larger drill motors, and I'll show you how that works. Now we can use our rig mounted type motor, like our DM10, and I've already mounted the spacer block. You can see it bolts right to the motor with these 4 screws, and in the same way, the dovetail goes right into the cradle. You just lift up the motor, engage it into the cradle, tighten the screw, and you're good to go. Your wrench, make sure it's nice and secure. And this makes an excellent combination as well. Talk a minute about how to adjust. This is a maintenance procedure. Sometimes your rollers will get a little bit loose, and you feel some looseness in the stand while you're drilling. Now, to adjust your guidance rollers, if you find there's looseness in your carriage, you can adjust the 2 left side rollers that are on eccentric shafts. The 2 on the right are not, so you don't adjust those. And all you need to do is, with your carriage locked, if you can turn the roller by hand, you need to adjust it. And so all you need to do is turn until it stops, and then go a further 1/8 of a turn, And then, to make sure it's not over tightened, you just run your carriage up and down, make sure it's not too tight. Now it's important to make sure you have the stand level before you finally tighten it, because very often you'll be on an uneven surface and you have the 4 leveling screws that can allow you to make the stand perfectly aligned and lined up with the surface. And often you'll want to take a spirit level and put it on the column and then watch the bubbles as you make your final adjustment of all 4 as needed to make sure the stand is perfectly aligned, and then you finally tighten your anchoring bolt. Today we're going to talk about how we're going to mount our drill stand to the workpiece. And the best way to mount your drill stand is to use what we call a drop-in anchor. And so you're going to have to do your layout and you measure the distance from the center of your intended hole to where you're going to set your anchor, and it depends on the size of your stand. You can figure it out. So here there's a few tools that you're going to need before you begin. First, you're going to need a rotary hammer, and you're going to have the right size drill bit for your drop-in anchor, and you should drill to the correct depth, and then you drive in your anchor with a driving tool for the anchor and a sledgehammer. And then for mounting the drill to the drill stand, you'll need a length of thread rod and a nut, and also a mounting plate. This is our optional mounting plate, and you can see it's as strong as possible. It'll give you a really secure mounting to the workpiece. And also in your setup, you'll need a tape measure to measure where to put your hole, and if it's crucial the alignment of your hole, you'll need to have some kind of a spirit level for aligning your stand before you finally tightening it down onto the workpiece. And so first we'll begin by drilling our hole for our drop-in anchor. Now before you set your anchor, you have to make sure the hole is completely clean, free of any dust, to make sure it has a good hold. Otherwise it may come loose when you're operating, and that would not be good. Now to set your anchor, you use this special setting tool so you can drive it into the hole without damaging the threads. And you just take your sledgehammer and drive it into the hole. And now you remove the driving tool. Now I'll put the stand in place over the anchor. Thread in the rod. Here's our mounting plate. Thread in the rod. Make sure it's fully threaded in. That's good. Then before you fully tighten the anchor, if you need to, you can check the level of the base and adjust it as needed. And once you have it level, you final tighten it. And now the stand is ready to drill.